Return of Superknot, number 1 of 1. When I built this guitar in 2021, it was a culmination of all my skills using this X-Carve CNC router, luthering, design, even the resin pouring. It's also the subject of my first YouTube video, so I think it's appropriate to revisit this one. I think it deserves a re-edit at any rate. It's the first guitar that I built from scratch, not from a kit or like a pre-existing guitar. I did use a pre-built neck, as I'm not that skilled yet, but everything else had to be planned out. I built this guitar for my good friend Justin. He's like a brother to me, and this was a surprise birthday gift. Two things that went into the idea behind this. First, his grandfather was an experienced woodworker. A few years after his grandparents had passed, the family was preparing the property for sale. And around this time, I got this X-Carve. They invited me over to get scrap wood from his workshop. It was very helpful to have the scrap. Well, I learned, how the ins and outs of this machine. And I saw these 2 slabs of mahogany, and I thought those would make a great guitar body for Justin. Bang. Secondly, we share a love of Black Sabbath, and we play in a Black Sabbath cover band. Every Friday night we jam out Sabbath tunes for 3 hours, so I knew when I was designing it, it had to be an SG. He plays drums in the Sabbath band, I'm on bass, but he plays guitar in his 5 other bands, 6 other bands, 7 other bands. Another feller in our band plays guitar, and I based this one on his 1970s tribute SG. So all the measurements are all based on that guitar. So Stony Iommi here uses that guitar on our C-sharp set and uses a red 60s classic SG for the standard set. So it took me about 3 months off and on, and our Stony Iommi donated the nice looking tuners and some cash towards parts. And Jay from Times the Enemy donated the new case and the strap locks. That was pretty cool. Thanks, Jay. And needless to say, Vic Hucklebuck was blown away by this gift, and as you can see, he plays it a lot. And it's in for 2 things today. First, it needs a clear coat. This was a rattle can clear, and it is failing hard. And thanks to Super Tim, I now have a paint gun and a real clear coat. So this needs to be sanded down, touched up with the transparent black, and be re-cleared correctly. Secondly, he wants to add a kill switch, and that'll be a first for me, and I got that on order. It should be here today, I think, and should be an easy install. I'm thinking about where to put it. I'm thinking almost right here, and that'll keep these in line. If I ever want to put a future something here, who knows, but I'm thinking right there. Where would you put a kill switch? There. I don't know if it'll be in the way there. I'll ask him. So, anyway, when that's all done, we'll go through it. We'll go through the neck, the bridge, the strings, all that good stuff. You know the drill. So in this video, we're going to revisit this build, and then next week we'll see the upgrading. And I also have a surprise at the end of this video that will be a great addition to my videos going forward. So stick around and become acquainted with Superknot. So since I only had one shot at that blank, I decided to carve one here out of pine. And that's just a bully Epiphone I had there for comparison. And just to make sure I had everything right, I only had one shot at that blank, and you can see that that's not the best. I had a couple screw-ups there, but I worked them out there, figured out what I was doing wrong. So when I finally got to this blank, I was able to cut it pretty good. The center part is super solid. The second piece of wood that I had spoken about was had a split down the middle, so I cut that in half and put them on each edge and glued it all up with biscuit joinery. And if I recall, I don't know if I had a planer at the time or if this was too big for the planer I had, but I'm milling the top down here so I have a nice flat surface to work with. This is, I milled the other side of this, flipped it over, now I'm doing this side, so I have a nice square piece to start with. And as you can see, I need to go down to this line, so it had a ways to go. So there it is, all milled, clamped down with the clamps out of the way. This was screwed down to that lower board there. First thing I'm doing on the blank is carving out the neck pocket, the pickups, the bridge area, and the electronics holes for the pots and the switches. This is probably the detail bit. I would have probably milled it out with a larger bit to get all that, get the meat out of there first. So there it is. I gave it a little kiss with an outline to see kind of where everything was going to fall, make sure everything was in the right spot, and it was. And so left my mark there on the bridge pickup. This was, I couldn't really figure out how to do this. I was going to just set a chamfer bit on a router and do the edge, but if you ever look at the edge of an SG, the chamfering isn't even all the way around. It's got a really nice dip to it around the bottom, and I couldn't figure out how to really do that without V-carving it. So what you're seeing me do here before I carve out the blank is doing the V-carving. It was pretty difficult to set up on the machine on how I wanted to do that right, but yeah, it's just going to keep taking that edge out until it's to the right area. You can see it just kind of keeps stepping down, stepping down. And most of that there will be gone, but you have to make the V carve out that far to get the angle that you want. And that's just a large V bit that's in there. I think it was a 30 degree maybe. And it didn't leave the, I mean, it did the trick, and I knew there was going to be there was a heavy amount of sanding after this. So here we are coming around, carving out the top. And you can see there to the left how a lot of that chamfer I made is going to just disappear with the edge of the guitar. But it leaves a nice little swoop there. Here it is, just about done. I used 2 screws creatively to try to keep this from shifting once it got through. You can see the first one there that goes through one of the volume, maybe the tone pot. Or is that a volume? That's probably the volume. Yeah, you can see that one holding it down, and another one I figured out where I wanted the strap button to go, and that's holding it up by the neck. And I didn't get that exact on that horn or the other one. I had to do some sanding to get that down. Also, if you look real close, you can see a biscuit peeking through there. But I thought I had laid those out where they weren't going to pop out, but they did. But that one did. But it's all right. There it is, all cut out. Pull off the scrap. You can see that nice swoop there on that chamfer. And from here, what I did is I took this off. I carved a reverse template into that piece of pine down the bottom. And screwed this in so it was in the right spot. Again, using 2 screws, one up there for the strap lock where the strap button's going to go, and the other one is for the volume pot. And the first thing I want to do here is do the chamfer on this side, and that came out pretty good. And from there I can clamp it in. I made these, carved out these pressure clamps there to hold it in place while I carved out the electronic pocket. So there, that's all carved out. I left 3 high spots there for the magnets that'll hold on the panel. So there it is, sanded, a little bit fitted. A little dry fit. I also took the opportunity before I glued the neck in to, I had a really long drill bit and drilled the holes for the electronics coming right up through the neck pocket through the 2 pickup holes into there. The second one is for the ground, the bridge. And great thing about the X-Carve is you can carve your own pick guards and, you know, back plates. This one here, you can see there's 3 holes on there. I had countersunk for metal washers. And it's just 3-ply acrylic. Goes for about, the black stuff goes for like maybe $10 a sheet. There we go. We're getting prepped to get glued in the neck. And get glue everywhere, but as you can see, that it's where I wanted it to line up. Clamp, clamp, clamp. Also took the opportunity to carve the headstock. I might have done this before I glued it in. And truss rod cover. It's named Superknot PG Promonone. That would be the jack plate cover, and I put it on. Used the heat gun to melt that to a little round area. Also here, shaped the back of the neck into a little more of an arrow. Here's a shot of my my glue work before everything was shaped. And had some tasteful wormholes. You can see I filled here with some epoxy. And we glued some magnets in for the back plate rather than using screws. And there she is, all sanded down, assembled, ready to start getting finish on it. And we did a nice seal on that, and then this is a transparent black it was supposed to be. And it is complete. All poured up. The headstock here, we did white glow in the dark. There you go, that's what it looks like in the dark. Yeah, so there it is, complete. And that is the making of Superknot. So I hope you enjoyed that. If this is the only guitar I ever end up building, at least it's awesome, right? If you stuck around this long, you probably want to see the surprise I promised. I bought a new camera. Well, the fellers chipped in and bought me a new camera for my birthday. So this is our old Polaroid action cam. And this is our new Sony HDR CX405. Looks and sounds better, I hope. The old camera was really discouraging to me because it did not really represent what I wanted the channel to look like. I mean, I'm not looking for produced TV quality. I mean, I'm doing this by myself, but a clearer picture will hopefully go a long way. So, this is Superknot #1 on Promonome. Next week, I'll be doing all the upgrades on this and getting it back to the man for his birthday in June. So I want to thank you for watching. Thumbs up so I know you like my content. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now. Play the drums in a rock and roll.